Welcome back to the Clashing Conferences podcast. I'm your host, Matt. We have a special guest here tonight. We have probably the only person in the entire Clashing Conferences whose resume can even match mine. We have the one, the only, Michael, on the show. Michael, thank you for coming on tonight.
Hello, boys. Happy to be here.
Thanks for
for
coming,
having
Mike.
me.
You're welcome.
Been watching the members group for a while. I'm ready to hop in and be part of the action a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And we have a special treat for you tonight. Mike is here for a special reason. That special reason is because Paddy is going to become the host of the show. Paddy, how you feel?
I'm ready, baby. Whenever you want to raise it up, let's go for it.
Well, I was thinking that, it would only be right if we did something symbolic. So, sir, what I would like to do is I would like to pass the mic to you, deservedly so. I hope you do well with it. This is my baby, but I know you'll take good care of it. So thank you, sir. Go ahead and give that right there. Oopsie doopsie.
Thank you, brother.
Oh,
I appreciate it.
you got it.
We're
man.
ready to roll.
So wait, are you taking over tonight?
I'm taking over right now, baby.
Right now?
now.
So I'm not
I
hosting
hope you
tonight.
get to participate for once.
Yeah, Patty, you do what you got to do. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready like Mr. Rogers. Let me get. Oh, Lord.
Oh, we going Ric Flair?
Oh, full
Uh-oh.
Ric Flair.
Oh, we go Rick Ramone,
Ooh.
baby. Rick
With the
Ramone,
toothpick?
2025.
You got a toothpick?
Woo! Hold on now. Now we got to really get real elegant here. We're gonna go by the fireplace tonight. We're gonna. Oh yeah. Okay, Patty, take me away, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Clashing Conferences podcast. We are a sports fan network for the people, by the people, of the people, and we are here ready to go. We cannot continue to grow. I would not have this opportunity to be a host unless you join our community. Community is a big word for us. So if you want to be a part, check us out on all socials: Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, MySpace, as Matt likes to say. Anywhere you can find us, here we are. And last but not least, shout out to our sponsor, Sparrow Hair Studio. And Matt, can you remind people who they can go see at Sparrow Hair Studio?
Her name is Lean, short for Darlene, and I can't wait to meet her because I'm gonna make sure she has some hair to cut when I get there.
So if you become a member of our Sports Fan Network, you can go see Sparrow Hair Studio in Lancaster, PA, and be good to go. So, fellas, the reason we're making this switch is because here we are. We are ready for playoff football. Playoff football. We're going to switch to all playoff football. We're going to put college basketball on a little bit of a hiatus, even though UConn's costing me money right now. We're going to be good to go. We're going to start. We're just going to go in order. We're going to do all sorts of things. We're going to have a pick 'em. We're going to have a Buster Trust segment. We're going to have a lot of fun. And we're going to have a group-wide pick 'em, which is going to be fantastic. So, fellas, how are we feeling about playoffs in general before we get started?
I'm hoping it'll become more entertaining this second round. Or not the second round, but you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying. But the first round was very boring. There's like one good game, right?
Yeah, yep. Mm.
You know what I mean? Everything else has been, I could watch cartoons and have more
I'll skip
fun.
Matt because he doesn't like college football. Mike, what do you think about the first couple rounds?
Oh!
I agree. I agree with Cody. I mean, I'm hoping the action picks up. I mean, we should get better matchups here, better games. I mean, you got me locked on this daggone UConn thing right now for about another 90 seconds or so.
Well, Matt, any thoughts? I'll give you some time.
Well, I know that colleges that I grew up watching being good are relevant right now, such as Penn State and Notre Dame. So if college football can just give me a good football game or two, you might get me to come by in. So give me something good football, college, and I'd be more than happy to watch, by all
Love
means.
that. So what we're going to basically do every week, we're going to kind of go around the league or around the week. We're going to start down the line, start with college football, kind of preview things, and then we'll pick at the end. So obviously you can say your piece about what you like, but big game tomorrow night, my Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus Penn State, Notre Dame is favored by 1.5. I think is the line right now. Sorry, I'm fighting a little bit of sickness for those who are watching my flu game. But I love if Notre Dame can run the ball. I think they'll control the game. Obviously, I'm going to stay there. But Cody, what do you think? What are you looking forward to about that?
A good game. You know, I'm not huge into the football thing, but I have been watching this since it is the first playoff, bracket. But I'm on your team this time. I am pulling for your Notre
Love
Dame.
that.
I feel like they could probably go all the way. It'd be something to see.
Mike, you think that this Drew Aller kid for Penn State is a pro prospect? Because I was 6 months ago, I was out on him, but now it seems like all these pro guys seem to love him now all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's one of those ones who's the his size, his arm strength, all the things that the scouts like to see. He has it all. Um, he ain't showing it to me on the field. I mean, I don't see what they're seeing, but I'm not a pro scout either.
Yeah.
So hey, maybe he goes to the NFL and does great. But I would like to see more on-field production from him if he's going to be a first-round pick or a top pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely interesting, especially with Penn State having the edge rusher. I can't think of his name right now. Carter, I want to say his last name is, who's projected to be
Yeah,
top
Abdul
5 right
Carter,
now.
something like that.
And then obviously
Yeah.
against a solid Notre Dame offensive line. Matt, who do you got? Take a stab.
The team with the most points.
Take a stab. Who do you want?
Penn State, Notre
Yeah.
Dame.
Yeah.
Who's going to generate us more content? Well, two-way Tony's in the win, so I guess we got to go with Notre Dame.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it.
I think it's going to be Notre Dame. They got a great defense. They got a great run game. They're going to pound it. I think they come out with a win tomorrow.
All in favor of Notre Dame,
Aye,
say aye.
baby.
Aye.
All right, we don't have to harp on that one too long. Let's move
Unanimous.
right on down to what I think is going to be an absolute hell of a game in Ohio State, Texas. Seems like Michigan has woken up a sleeping giant in Ohio State. I thought that Oregon was my pre-tournament pick, and they got embarrassed. Let's talk real quick on, how do you think that Texas can keep up with this high-powered offense for Ohio State? Mike, what do you think on that end of, can Texas catch up with them, or does this have to be a high defensive game for them?
I don't think Texas keeps up. A month or two ago, I would have told you Texas whoops them, but Ohio State seems to be a machine right now. I mean, they are just that kid Smith, that freshman Smith, the wide receiver is just he's a man child. I can't believe that kid's a freshman. He's just out there like every game right now, like catching every ball that comes anywhere close to him and like going for 100 yards and multiple touchdowns in a game. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's an
Yeah,
unreal
I'd
talent.
say
Cody,
that.
what do you think?
I think they're firing on all cylinders. Ohio State, as much as I would love to see Texas because of SEC, I think Ohio State. I think they get him.
Yeah, I think it's definitely interesting because we talk about Jeremiah Smith being the playmaker that he is, and obviously he's been such a huge playmaker for them as a freshman. We tend to forget that they have Emeka Ibuka, who's going to be a top 3 round pick this year. They have Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson who can run the ball. So I'm going to go with Ohio State as well.
They're stacked.
Matt, any other thoughts?
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Texas win because I just find Ohio State to be boring in general. And also, I think there would be a real funny dichotomy between like Texas and Notre Dame fan bases going at each other. So, for entertainment purposes, I vote Texas.
Nice, absolutely. That'll bring us right into the moneymaker of America, the NFL playoffs, baby. The NFL playoffs. Obviously, we're all excited. Some of us more than others. But we start off Saturday. Houston at home versus Harbaugh and the Chargers. Who wants to start us off?
I'll start it.
I'd say Texans.
Texans. Okay.
Oh.
Speak your truth, Cody.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, I just like Texans. Obviously, I'm not a huge football fan, but I like their team. I guess their vibe. I guess as horrible as that sounds, like a bandwagon fan. Now that I say that, but anyways,
All right.
Texans. All right, that's what I'm going with.
I like the Chargers in this one. I feel like the Texans got some important injuries out there
Mhm.
towards the end of the year and are on the kind of down slope, and the Chargers are on the upslope. Jim Harbaugh got them guys ready to go, man. He's a hell of a coach, and I think they can take this one.
Mhm.
Matt?
Yep. I liked Houston coming into this year. I thought Houston had a chance to win the AFC, and if they had stayed healthy, I think they really could have. Also, Stroud would have needed to take that next step up. But with that said, yeah, I'm going to have to say the Chargers. I'm rooting for the Texans, but I think the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's close. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell the people this. As we go around, this will be part of our pick 'em live on the show, but everybody in our network is also picking outside of the show. So we'll show a leaderboard going into next week's of our top 5 so you can follow along with our network and how they're doing. I'm taking the Chargers. I think that McConkey and Herbert kind of do their business. Unfortunately, Houston's got too many injuries on the offensive line. I don't think they can hang on. So,
Mm-mm.
on to my probably demise. I'll start. Mike Tomlin's got a superpower, and that superpower is beating the Baltimore Ravens. And maybe I don't even believe it myself, but what kind of fan would I be to not take the Pittsburgh Steelers Saturday night, baby?
Would love to see the Ravens get beat because of Lamar Jackson, who went to Louisville. I wish him nothing but the worst. But uh, realistically, I feel like the Ravens are going to win, as much as that hurts as well. But I would like to see the Steelers win that just because
So
of
what's
that
your pick,
reason.
Cody?
I don't really know. Okay. I want to go for injuries, but then again, I want to be right. And I feel like Ravens
All right,
will probably win it.
we'll
So I'm
lock
going
you in.
Ravens.
Matt?
These teams annoy me. I just feel like one of them wins the Super Bowl like every 10 years, and then they just don't. I don't know. But I guess I'll go Baltimore. They'll probably flame out in the second round like they always do. But yeah, Baltimore.
Mike?
I'm
It's
sorry,
okay.
Patty. It's an easy
It's
one. It's the
okay.
Ravens. They got too much talent on that team. The quarterback gap is too big.
I'm rooting for the Steelers. I'm picking the Ravens.
I totally get that. I would not pick the Steelers unless I was a Steeler fan. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
there. Okay, 1 o'clock Sunday. I think this is a lock. I'll let you guys go first. Denver heading to Buffalo. Bo Nix's first playoff game. Josh Allen trying to fulfill the prophecy. We'll start the opposite way. Mike, start us off.
It is a lock. You summed it up. I mean, there's too much inexperience in Denver, coming all the way across the country, going to a tough, very tough place to play, especially in January in Buffalo. Denver's a tough place to play as well, but for very different reasons. Those guys are going to come in there with no experience and probably get their butts whooped.
I'm doing this for clickbait. I'm going
Okay.
Broncos, and here's why. The Bills always poop their pants in the playoffs. They always poop their pants. But the Broncos are playing with house money. No one's expecting them to win. They know how to play in a crappy environment, this being completely different, but cold, high terrain, that's what they do. I think Josh Allen, I don't know. I got to see him prove it to me, but I kind of consider him a fraud. Everybody hypes him up as the greatest thing ever. You got
A
to do it.
fraud,
So,
huh?
all right.
I think I'm going Bills.
All right.
As much as I would love to do it as clickbait, again, I have to be right. So I feel like Bills.
Cody's going for the win. We appreciate that. I'm taking the Bills. I think that Josh Allen is just living in a time, with Mahomes here, he's just living in a time where there's just another quarterback that's just as good as him, and it's hard. I don't think that's the fault of
Mm-hmm.
Josh. I think he gets through maybe this year, maybe another year, but I'll pick the Bills. That leads us into a big game for this network. Packers, Eagles, 425 in Philadelphia. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they take care of business. I think with Christian Watson out, I think Jordan Love is going to kind of run out of a little bit of magic, but we'll see. I'll take the Eagles. Cody, on to you.
Um, this was a toss up. I didn't really know who to pick in this one, but I went with the Eagles. But it's almost like a coin flip. It could swing either way. I feel like at any given moment, Packers could come out firing and then whoop them, and then Eagles could do the same.
Matt?
I'm going to go with the Eagles, but I want Green Bay, and here's why. we have a new champion that has been inducted into the Ring of Honor in Greg, but I couldn't help but feel like he was kind of running scared from Tony P last night. Tony P was not working. I didn't see any guests on the football pod. So, you want to talk about content? Just saying, we could have had some good back and forth. But if Green Bay wins next week, you got even better content. So I'll go with Philly, but I'm rooting Green Bay.
And Mike?
I once again agree with my new friend Cody. I think he called it when he said this could go either way, and I think the reason why this could go either way right now is because both quarterbacks are a little bit iffy. Jalen Hurts is still in concussion protocol, I think, as of tonight on Wednesday night. I don't think he's been completely cleared yet. I think as of today, for the first time, it looks like he might be cleared, but it was really questionable, 3, 4 days before the game, and you don't want that out of your quarterback. You do not want a quarterback coming off a concussion going out to play in a playoff game. That's not a good scenario. And I don't know what exactly happened to Jordan Love. Do any of you guys know what happened to
They
him
said it was
last
a hand
week?
injury, that he could have went back in, but they didn't want to push it, and that
Okay.
there was no breaks or fractures, but it was a hand wrist injury, something when he threw it and he hit the
Okay.
guy's helmet.
But I think he's been limited in practice this week up until today as well. So I mean, those guys are both so important to both of their teams, and they better be healthy if both teams want to have a chance at winning on Sunday.
I agree for sure. I'll stick with Philly. I think they just kind of, it's hard in the cold to stop a guy that averages 110, 120 yards a game, whatever Saquon ended up averaging. So I think that's
Yeah.
kind of a factor we're not really looking at as of right now, but I'll take Philly. On the Sunday night, we got Commanders Bucks, and what I think is probably the best game of the weekend, in my opinion. Just two very entertaining teams. I actually heard a thing on the radio today that I loved, and it said the Bucks have won their division 4 years in a row, but still every Tampa Bay Bucks fan that you talk to wants Todd Bowles fired. So it's a weird situation, but I will take Tampa in a shootout by a field goal. We'll go opposite this time. Mike, where are we starting with you?
Oh,
Tampa's gonna whoop them. Tampa's gonna run Washington out of the building. I have said all year on the football podcast that I think Washington is fraudulent. They have, and Paul even said on our last episode, Paul's a Commanders fan. Let me get that right. Um, and he even said they got lucky in a handful of games this year that, they probably shouldn't have won. And they got through and they came out on the right end of it. And I'm trying to look it up here. It's going to take me a second, but if you look at the last Washington schedule, and the quarterbacks that they have beaten the last like 8 or even 10 games that they've won this year have come against just horrible teams and horrible quarterbacks. Like, I mean, they're not winning against playoff caliber competition out here. And I think when they get up against it, which I think Tampa Bay is, I think they're going to get a rude awakening.
It's a fair take, I think. Matt, what do you think? Obviously, you're going the other direction, shaking your head.
I'm going the other direction, baby. It's all about content. Clickbait. Let's go. But I said early on at the beginning of the season, I thought that Washington had a chance to win the division. They made the playoffs. Eckler's back. Robinson. They do if their quarterback can just manage the game and they don't have turnovers, then I think that there's a chance that they could actually squeak this one out. So I'm going Commanders, and if they win, Paul's going to send me all of his old UNC merchandise. That's what I
Love
heard.
it.
So
Cody, what are you picking?
I'm going Commanders. Again, I feel like this one could become either way, shootout, but I think Daniels kills it. I think he gets the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to see him play in a playoff game. I know he's had some close heartbreak wins this year for other teams. Sorry, Mike, but we'll see. And Monday night, I'll go last. But we got Rams Vikings Monday night special in the playoffs. Cody, start us off. What do you think?
I'm going Vikings. It's my daughter's favorite team, so I'm rolling with it. Let's go, JJ the Jet.
is it because they're purple?
Yeah. Well, and that's her school mascot at her elementary school. So
Oh, that's right. You sent that in the
She
back.
plays. Yeah, she plays for the Vikings, so
Yep.
we'll roll with
Nice.
it. Gets me brownie points.
I'm going Vikings. I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about LA. I feel like they persevered after they tore it down after the Super Bowl and everybody got hurt. So, but with that said, the Vikings have just kind of been rolling all year. They just so happen to be in the division with the number one team, so they got bumped way down in the seeding. So I'll go Minnesota.
And then Mike.
Going Vikings as well for the sweep. I think they got more talent than the Rams do. They had. I said that I talked about this a little bit on the football podcast last night. It's egregious that the Vikings with 14 wins have to travel across the country to play the Rams at home, who only have 10 wins.
Yep.
I don't know how it just seems not right. Like I don't know if it's because we got more is there's less buys now
Yep,
than there
there's
used to
one
be.
buy
It
instead
used to
of
be
two.
two teams would get a
Yep, one instead
buy.
of two.
It something doesn't seem right about that to me. You win 14 games and you're going across the country to play a road game in a wild card round.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they need to
What?
redo all that seating and stuff. And even in basketball, I know they've been throwing that idea out there, but I really think that would make for better competition and new rivalries that we've never got to see before.
yeah, I don't disagree.
I think they're trying to make a
Sorry, Cody,
way.
go for it. No, go.
Sorry. Oh, I feel like they're just trying to make a way for the Kansas City Cheaters to win again. Somehow, some way. I feel like that's what's
See, I
happening.
don't disagree with the division thing, but if you're gonna do that, then you might as well just play everybody in your conference. You got 16 teams in your conference. You might as well just play 16 conference games then and get rid of divisions. Because if you're gonna keep divisions, there's no way to separate. Like you have to do what you do now if you keep divisions. So the only way to get rid of it would be going conference schedule, which I don't know if I'm in love with, but who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Not opposed to that idea.
So yeah,
Then you
Yeah,
play what, like 2 or
yep,
3 non-conference games a year to make up your
yep. You play two
difference?
non-conference.
Okay.
So
it wouldn't be
who
bad.
knows? But all right, since this is the first week, before we get to our last segment, we have to pick our conference winners and our Super Bowl champions so we can look back on it. So I'll start. We'll go to the NFC first. I am taking the Detroit Lions to win the NFC. I think they finally get it done. I think they have the roster. I know the injuries scare some people. I think they take care of it. I'm going to trust Dan Campbell to win the NFC. Detroit's my pick for 5 points. Cody.
Lions all the way. I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it. That's my
Oh,
Super
love
Bowl
it. We don't
pick.
have to go to you on the Super Bowl one. Love it. Matt?
I feel like they're going all the way.
You want NFC or both?
NFC right now.
Actually, not to ride your guys' coattails, but I was going Lions as
Love it.
well.
Mike?
Okay, content. I'll be the guy that's different this time. So I'm a Bears fan. I cannot root for another team from the NFC North. We're going with the Eagles.
Yeah, they're the other team that is for sure scary. And so we'll go right to the AFC. We'll go backwards order. This again for 5 points in our playoff standings. Mike, who you got coming out of the AFC?
This was a much tougher decision for me. There's a lot of good teams in the AFC, man. You got Kansas City, you got Buffalo, you got the Ravens. I mean, I feel like all three of those teams have bona fide shots. I'm going with the Ravens. I feel like they've improved so much from last year. Lamar's playing like a legitimate MVP. That running game is ridiculous. Defense is a little sketchy at times, but I think that offense can power through it. I'm going with the
All right,
Ravens.
Matt?
I just feel like Casey it's like watching New England all over again. So unless somebody can go into their house and beat them, I
That's
think they're
very
going.
fair.
Yeah.
Cody?
I'm going Bills.
I as well
I'll
am
roll with
going
it.
with the Buffalo Bills. I think Josh gets over the hump this year. I think he gets it done.
Yep.
Obviously, if it can't be my Pittsburgh Steelers, we'll take another Midwestern-ish team. But yeah, I just think Buffalo gets done offensively, and we'll see. And Matthew,
Ooh. Host
sure.
question: what do all these points mean?
So at the end of our run, which will be in about 5 weeks, end of the Super Bowl, we will have a standings board, and whoever wins, I believe, is going to get a T-shirt bought by me from the Clashing Conferences Network for winning the playoff
Ooh.
competition.
Ooh,
So
nice.
now we will go with a.
I'm an extra
Oh,
large.
nice! I won mine on the wheel, so if I win, maybe I'll put it through the wheel again. But we are
Oh.
now going to pick our Super Bowl winners before our last segment. I will start. I'm going to go. Obviously, I picked Lions, Bills. I think it's going to be, that would be one of the best games of the year, one of the best Super Bowls, two non-Super Bowl teams. Give me Buffalo. Give me Buffalo to break the curse. Western New York finally brings home a title. Josh Allen does what he's supposed to do. I'll take the Buffalo Bills as your Super Bowl champions. Cody, what are you thinking?
Going Lions. We picked the same game, Bills and Lions. I think that would be, like you said, an amazing game.
It
But
would be.
I feel like Lions come out on top. Maybe we get like an Eminem concert afterwards. Is what I'm kind of hoping.
I'm in.
Matt?
Let's go.
So I'm going Detroit over KC, and I think it would be fun because again, from a content perspective, Detroit finally winning would be awesome and knocking them off. You know what I mean? Like Tom Brady is the only thing that stopped them from winning 5 in a row. So you know what I mean? They could be on a roll for 6. It's right. How many do they have? 3 going for 4?
Who, the Lions?
No, the Chiefs.
Oh, they have
The
2 going
cheaters.
for 3, like they're third in a row, they're 4th overall.
And Brady beat him in the Super Bowl in the Bucks, and then he beat him in New England, and they beat the Rams. So again, theoretically, it could have been them the whole time. So if Detroit could do that, that would be really awesome because it would be like watching the juggernaut heavyweight get knocked out. So
Absolutely. Mike, you got Ravens, Eagles.
And
Yeah, Bird Super
Eagles,
Bowl. Bird Super Bowl.
I would like to throw a curveball to my previous Google Doc submission if
That's
I
fine.
can.
That's fine.
I had the Eagles on there. I'm gonna change it. I'm going with the Ravens. I think the Ravens will beat the Eagles.
Yeah, for some reason, I think that you spending all that time with these Philly guys hasn't really helped your demeanor towards the Eagles, if I had to guess. But
oh, that's
I've
a
never
deep
been an
rooted
Eagles
baseball
hater.
reference.
I don't hate the Eagles. I don't. They're not my team by any means. But I'm not an Eagles hater like I'm a Phillies hater.
yeah, I don't hate the Eagles. I think they're a great team. Matt, what are you thinking?
That the Philly fans did a lot of psychological trauma to Mike, and he's justified in how he
That's
feels.
fair. All right, we are going to move into our last segment here, wrapping up our show. We're going to do this every week. You can pick college, you can pick pro. We are going to do a segment that I like to call Bust or Trust. What we're going to do here is you're going to pick one team that you think is going to be an absolute bust this weekend. They could be a favorite, they could be an underdog. They're just going to poop their pants this weekend and not show up. And you're going to pick a trust. If you had to pick one game, who you riding with? This team's winning no matter what. Who you going with? We're going to go with our busts first. Cody, who is your bust of the weekend? Who is losing for sure?
Who do you think I'm gonna pick? Just throwing that out there.
I wasn't including Louisville
Loserville.
basketball, but I guess I'll allow it in this segment. That's fine.
Yeah, it's always lose, 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 lose. I got an option. Trust UK
I like it.
I
every
like it.
time.
All right, Matt, go for it.
For what, NFL or any
College
sport?
football, NFL I was looking for, but I like Cody enough to let him pick Kentucky basketball, so that's fine. All right, Mike, who's your loser of the weekend?
I'm giving my bus. It's the red. It's. I'm gonna keep saying Redskins. I was born in 1978. I can't get used to this
That's
Commanders
fine.
crap. So, the Washington Redskin Commanders are gonna be bus against the Tampa Bay
I like it.
Bucks.
My bust of the weekend is the Houston Texans. I don't think they show up at all. I think the Chargers beat them by 14 plus points. I think if this game was in LA, it'd be a 10-point spread. I think the Houston Texans are just lost in space right now. They're my bust. Matt, what do you got?
I got a lot of family out in Green Bay, so I don't want to say this, but I just think that they got banged up at the wrong time at the end of the season, and they're walking into.
All right, now we're going to go with the opposite end. Who's your trust? Who you trust in as your one pick? You got to get one win. Can't pick against your bust. You got to pick a different game. So, who you trust in this weekend and why, Mike?
I'm looking at the slate here, and I was hoping to find an upset that I liked, but there's nothing out there that's really catching my eye. So I'm gonna pick one of you guys' bowl picks out there. I think my trust is Buffalo over Denver. I said it earlier. I just don't think Denver has the experience to beat Buffalo. I trust Buffalo.
Absolutely, Matthew.
Well, I can tell you one thing that I trust for sure is that anybody who plays the Boston Celtics is going to lose. That includes the poopy pants Knicks, the Sixers, the Hornets, and the Bucks. I trust that.
Shots
Love it.
fired. Shots
I love it.
fired.
Cody, who's your trust? Kentucky basketball.
I'm gonna go Bills. No, I'm gonna play the game this time. I'll play the game this time on this round. I'm gonna go the
All right.
Bills.
I chose not to
And
talk
also
during this
Kentucky
game. I
basketball.
chose not to talk during
You
this
get a
game earlier. Oh, my
participation
bad.
ribbon.
I chose not to talk during this game earlier because my trust of the week is the LA Rams as dogs. You're giving me Sean McVay at home, Super Bowl champion Matt Stafford, Super Bowl champion Sean McVay, Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp at home versus Sam Darnold. Lock them up. Give me the LA Rams Monday night in LA. That's my trust of the week. We are
I like it.
ready to sign out, fellas. Any last words before we do our sponsor read, before we do all of our accoutrements? Any last words on how our first football playoff went?
I do. I would like to know Michael's thoughts on the recent controversy that is no possible internal champions on the next round of the podcast. Ooh, I want to know what you think about that, Michael.
It's just all about holding me down. It's just all about making sure that I don't ever get my first championship here.
And Patty, as the only two show hosts here, you know, we're like the training wheels for you as you get started. But Michael, I'm about to have a 3-week vacation. How many vacations have you gotten?
Oh, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Man, I had to show up even when I was putting in 80-hour work weeks here.
So, Patty,
Yeah, but Matt, what you don't know
just
is
saying.
since you chose to talk tonight, that means you're locked in for all 5 weeks. So, sorry, brother. We'll see you next Tuesday. So, we are the Clashing Conferences podcast. We are a sports fan network for the people, by the people, of the people. We love the people. Come join the people. Get the people's elbow. Go to the people's court. I don't know. We love you. Have a great time. Signing off. Patty Bailey for the first time. Cheers, baby.
I'm literally going to give you the play-by-play on how you would participate in this podcast in less than 15 seconds. Here we go. You download an app. Our content producer, content manager sends you a link. You hit the link. You record, and usually within 30 seconds, unless you have COVID internet, you're done. That's it. You do nothing else. Steve does all the work. He stays up late at night. He does the editing. App, click it, hang up. The end. So,
That's
again,
it.
I understand people don't want to take on any more work than they need to. You're not. So just keep
There
that
is
in
no
mind.
work. This is fun time.
Yes.
Sometimes a little bit of extra
Fun
work,
time.
maybe if you want to be the host. But if
Big
you just
facts.
want to be a team rep, come in here and talk about your team as easily as you talk about it with any one of your friends or rivals.